Hello, everyone, and welcome to Next Generation Saints. I'm your host, Nick Coons. Before we get started today, I want to go and remind everyone to like and subscribe to this podcast wherever you may be listening to podcasts. It helps to get the algorithm so more people get to hear the Word of God. So today I'm going to be giving you guys a really quick update. It's actually pretty late on my end, so I'm going to make this short and sweet, but give you all the information I can. So the East Coast ports has officially come to an end. I found this out today, and I'm going to communicate it from USA Today. It says U.S. port workers and operators reached deal to end East Coast strike immediately, the union has said. So it says a union representing U.S. dock workers and port operators have reached a tentative deal on wages that will end at the end of 3-day strike that has shut down the shipping in the U.S. coast and Gulf Coast. The International Longmen's Association Union and the United States Maritime Alliance said on Thursday. The agreement extends to the master contract between the union and port operators until January 15, 2025, allowing negotiations to continue on other aspects of the contract. A joint statement did not specify what wages were agreed upon or the other terms that required negotiation. So the three main points that we're driving over here, the key points that was brought up was the tentative deal includes a 62% wage hike over the next 6 years. The second one is strike affected 36 ports, causing backlog and anchored ships. Now, the reason I'm going to pause on this particular one is because that will actually still cause the inflationary prices to go up, not to mention the panic buying people had. I think I've been pretty clear on this on my podcast, and I also wanted you guys to make sure you knew about this, not to panic buy. Don't panic buy. Just go get your usual stuff. If it's not there, it's not there. But do not panic buy. Now, the reason it's going to cause a little backlog is because you got about $2.5 billion worth of cargo goods on those ships. They're still sitting anchored, and they have to work really diligently to get that. It doesn't sound like a big ordeal, like, oh, they're going to get done in the next couple of days. It's going to take a little while to get it unbacklogged. Now, the Biden administration, on third point, sided with the union, resisting calls to halt a strike. This is only because the Biden administration is in the middle of an election year with Kamala Harris running for president along with Donald Trump, and the Democrats are well known for having union support all the time. Now, the reason they weren't going to do anything is because the president does have the authority to go ahead and cancel a strike and to force the workers, to go back to work against the will of their union, and force the companies and unions to hammer out a tentative agreement. He didn't want to do that because then unions would see him as a traitor to their cause and against the union mode, and siding with the big companies. He would lose lots of votes, and during an election year, losing votes is like losing pints of blood when you've been shot. You really don't want to have that happen to you and bleed out and die. So Biden is, of course, making his victory lap, saying that he was always standing with them and that he stands with the unions, but realistically, he was about as useful as a lame duckfish that has been decomposing in the sun and has been picked away by the birds, as in it has no value to it except to be kicked into the garbage can. So he hasn't actually done anything. So the tentative deal, like I said, that has a 62% wage hike over the next 6 years. The other issue, and they haven't specified this, and I'll let you guys know if I find out more information, is that they were afraid of automation. Now, I saw the automation taking place on Instagram where people were filming it, going, look at this. It is my theory, my interpretation that I said on the last podcast about this was an accurate interpretation. I believe the interpretation was about AI. And true, as surely as the Lord lives, that is exactly what I saw. We saw automated, basically trucks driving around. Like, they were almost like Teslas in essence, what they looked like. And they were controlled by AI systems and computer operations. So that's what they're trying to do, because the belief is that AI will take away people's jobs and replace them. And that's not a silly idea at all. It is very realistic. It can happen to pretty much anybody as AI develops. It's taking over many different industries. So it's understandable that blue-collar workers like the dock workers want to cancel it. And I understand as well that in order for our economy to move forward and for us to advance and our entrepreneurship and other projects in our economy, we also have to embrace technology because it makes things better, it makes things easier, but we also have to understand that when we do that, people can lose their jobs or their livelihoods. I understand you have to take care of your family, provide for their needs, keep a roof over their head, food in their bellies, and their bums sleeping on a nice bed. I totally understand that, and you have to take care of the car. I get it. So I think realistically there has to be a gray area here. There has to be a middle ground, in which case you can keep your job, but at the same time we can advance ourselves further. So we'll see more as this deal is hammered out to what's going on. So again, to recap, what we want to do is do not panic buy right now, even though the strike is over. Do not go and panic buy like I saw over at Costco, everyone lining up. Let's please not do another 2020 where we have everyone believing that the zombie apocalypse, the world's coming to an end, and the second coming of Christ is imminent. Well, if that was the case, and the second coming of Christ was going to happen within the next 5 minutes, and realistically filling your shopping bag would be completely ridiculous to do. But I digress. So please don't go panic buy. Just do your usual thing. Understand the prices are still going to go up on you. I don't know how much. I don't know how radical of a change it will be. But they will start going up on you, only because supply and demand. But if we don't panic buy, that means it's not also going to go crazy. So just keep that in mind. So I will keep you guys up with all the latest information as it comes in. I'm doing some more research information into Iran and Israel right now as World War III is developing. As we can see it, all the nations are getting together for a showdown. I'm not going to say too much on this podcast about it, just because what I've encountered so far has been 2% information, 98% of it is just opinion. So it would be like this. Iran has launched a ballistic missile attack against Israel. That's big news. Okay, how many are dead? How many people? What's the death toll? What's the injured? What's the property damage? Stuff like that. So that's like the 2% information you get. The rest would be speculations about what Iran's going to do next. Speculations about this. Speculation. And they'll hear a lot of that. That's what I mean. 98% just speculation. So I'm going to get some more information for you guys about that, while also delivering more of the Word of God to you guys. As I wrap it up here, let me go ahead and bring this up to you guys. So, you may have heard this, you may not have heard this, but Next Generation Saints now has a website. That's right, you can binge all your favorite episodes, and including, if you feel called to do so, donate to the channel. Just go to nextgensaints.com, and again, binge all your favorite episodes. So, until next time, we meet again. May God richly bless y'all, my dearly beloved.